Atkinson, the plaintiff is present. Is Samantha Sewell present on audio?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right, good morning to both of you. On audio?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right, good morning to both of you. Morning.
Hello everybody, once again, welcome back to the Matthew and Carlene channel. Today we're going over we're doing a reactionary video of a parent custody hearing that didn't go so well, for the mom. So if you like this content, by all means, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Let's get into it, shall we?
Last in court, Mr. Pratt has conducted a custody parenting time investigation, which included an interview of all three of your children. Mr. Pratt has made a recommendation. Have both of you received a copy of Mr. Pratt's recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And the two of you have conferred with Ms. Brower this morning. And the court would note, Ms. Brower, maybe a mistake, but there appears to be an outstanding motion, a motion filed by defendant mother to modify custody. I don't know if that needs to be addressed in this recommendation, but in any event, the recommendation, Mr. X, there's Ms. Sewell, good morning. The recommendation is that the friendly court recommendation, Mr. Pratt, dated August 13th, 2024, be adopted specifically.
Okay, now, guys, first thing I want to point out is that this might be just a technical issue, so yeah, I'm willing to give the mother that, but she was late getting her visual set up for the Zoom call for this custody hearing. She was verbally there, visually there, not visually on time though, a little bit late. But hey, I will give her the benefit of the doubt. Could be a technical issue. Could give her that. We all have problems with technology before. Let's continue.
Spending time with Cadence and Isabel shall be every other weekend, Friday at 4:30 to Monday to school during the school year during the summers, week on, week off, with the change at Sundays at 6 o'clock. The mother's spending time with London shall be reasonable and liberal. Further, that the outstanding spending time complaints filed with front of the court through July 8th be dismissed. It's also known that both parties have right in court with essays, what they have run for the High Conflict Solutions Workshop. The court appreciates both of you taking that program. Hopefully it was beneficial. I'm not, the court does not order the completion of that class if it's a waste of time. So I hope that there was some value in that class for both of you to make life easier for each of you. All right, so Mr. Do you understand the recommendation?
I do understand it. I understand what's wrote. I don't understand how we got here.
Okay, so you disagree with the recommendation?
Absolutely.
How we got there is we have an independent, experienced front of the court facilitator.
I personally feel like she's
interviewed your children. So your children are 16, 14, 13. This is not like a 6-year-old. So much more weight to be given on the thoughts and input of the children. I can guarantee you that, Ms. Sewell. So maybe you should ask yourself these questions, because obviously this is what the children want.
The children.
All right, guys. Now, what the judge made a really good point. The children are not really adolescents. They're in late teens. 16, 13, all that stuff. Yeah, if they say they don't want to be with the mom, they want to be with the dad, well, child services needs to look into that. They actually have to. Personally, I think child services will look into that for all ages of children when it comes to parental custody, but that's a story for another day. Let's continue.
I always choose ice cream over broccoli, and that's what's happening right here. I serve my children broccoli. He chooses to serve them ice cream. Children will always choose ice cream over broccoli. There are serious concerns within this case that have not been addressed, and unfortunately, it's so sickening and disturbing this case that the outcome of this recommendation is me dropping out. I don't wish to continue this anymore. My children have been failing educationally for years, and he's the one in charge of getting them to school, taking them to school. He's been charged with truancy charges. My son has dropped out of school. My children are depressed, suicidal, on medication, and all absence of their mother. But yes, continue the same path for them. Everybody agreed that something different needed to be done, and choosing the same sickening and despair life for them is enough for me to.
All right, guys. Now, notice how she's going on a rant here about all these allegations. But literally everybody in this Zoom court hearing, including the women, they're not really paying attention to it. They're not. So, yeah, I'm going to be guessing that when the courts investigated these allegations, it turned out to be bupkis. And quite frankly, the courts are kind of annoyed. They wasted all these valuable resources investigating these allegations, and they just want to get rid of this woman. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. I completely understand what you're saying. Child services courts can be very male biased right now. However, even the most biased people have their limitations. It's just a matter of figuring out where that limit actually is. Let's continue.
Decide that, continue on and do that. My son is now dropped out of school. There's no changing that. My daughter had a 1.3 grade average last year. I have went to court every single year, fighting to know knowledge about my kids, fighting to be present for my kids, fighting for my kids to attend birthday parties, fighting for my kids to attend funerals. I've had to go to court to know my kids' education, to know their therapist. I've had to go to court to have you tell him that he had to keep them in school so he wouldn't take them out for acting classes. I've had to go to court for all these things, and nothing has been done. So now my children, 13, 15, and 16 years old, are on medication, failing classes, depressed, suicidal, sexual activity, talking to men online, absolute disgust, all, and he won't do anything about it. I'm not allowed to be present. I'm pushed out of the way. So of course the kids want to choose whether they're not parented, not governed, and he's feeding them ice cream over broccoli. Absolutely, 100%. I agree with them. However, I don't choose to be a part of it anymore. I choose to not have the police called on.
Okay, guys, notice how she's still going on a ranting right now? Still? She clearly wants to have a one-way conversation here. Like, she clearly wants that. Funny thing, though, that's not how courts actually work. There is such a thing called cross-examination. So, I'm going to go on a limb here again and say this woman clearly wanted her custody agreement changed. However, because she's been utilizing men as a scapegoat to the extent where she can't really keep her emotions in check when people are questioning her or cross-examining her, the whole thing kind of backfired. Literally, just completely backfired. Because, yeah, when you go through a court process, it doesn't matter how biased the courts are. 9 times out of 10, if you can't handle a cross-examination, if you lose your cool during that, that's usually when you lose the case. Let's continue.
When I take away my son's Xbox, I choose to not have CPS called on me when I'm trying to get help for my daughter's suicide problems. I choose to not have false police reports called on me about stalking my ex. I'm choosing, if you guys don't choose better for my kids, I'm choosing to step aside. Flat out. I have 2 other children to parent and raise and worry about.
Wait. Did she say she has 2 other children? Who's the father of these other children? How many men have this woman got herself pregnant with? Like, how many? Let's continue watching this, see if we find out.
That's how I feel. This man, hold on, there's another one thing. I started all these parenting time complaints, and up until this point, because he was allowing the kids to move freely between homes, it was working out fantastically great until he tried to strong arm me into paying him some money. Hold on 1 second. He had moved a man into the basement with my 12-year-old daughter, lied to me about it, lied to the courts about it, wouldn't let CPS in, and my daughter is expressing sexual habits and behaviors, and nobody will investigate it, and nobody hears me. Would you be comfortable with your daughter expressing sexual pornography and doing things online, knowing that there is a man living down in the basement and she's telling people that she's dating a 40-year-old man? Would you feel comfortable with that?
Okay, let's break down here too, guys. Number one, you don't speak down or yell at the judge. Like, the judge is the one who makes the final decision. Yeah, one would think a full-grown adult Western woman would know that. Don't disrespect the judge. As for the man not allowing CPS agencies investigate, or really any agency investigate the house of that claim, if that wasn't true, this man would be in cuffs. He, honest to God, would be. Yeah. Because that's literally obstructing justice or obstructing an investigation. He would be in cuffs if that were to actually happen. Let's continue.
This is who I'm leaving my children with.
First of all, Ms. Sewell, have you reviewed I think Mr. Jackson filed in the court file, there's University of Michigan Psychiatric Emergency Department reports.
I have, and
Okay.
can I explain something to you?
Stated June 6th, where your daughter was taken to the hospital. She claims that there's ongoing, this is her words.
Yes, can I explain something to you?
Mother.
Yes, can I explain something to you? So
I just want to make
all
sure
this,
you don't need, want to make sure you saw these.
I did, absolutely, and it made me bawl. It's so sickening because here's the thing, Your Honor. Mr. Atkinson, I was explaining my concerns of what I was finding on her phone and explaining what I have known my son to do and explaining what we had just came across. The referee wanted to say that the kids were not allowed around each other and was concerned about incest relationships because what I was finding on Isabel's phone while she was in Mr. Atkinson's home. So I explained this to the court. The referee was like, whoa, something's going on. The kids aren't allowed around each other. Mr. Atkinson went home and told Isa and London that I was accusing them of having an incestual relationship and blamed the entire thing on me. So she absolutely was so...
Because you did accuse them of that. You did accuse the kids of that. You literally just admitted to that. Kind of told on herself. Kind of did during her ranting. Can't help but wonder if this woman actually pays attention to herself when she talks. I'm actually wondering that right now.
Mad at me, and I think I provided text messages to the court where she was saying my mom's so weird. She thinks I'm having sex with my brother, and she thinks I'm having sex with my dad's roommate. But these are the things that I'm finding on her phone, and I'm providing them to the court. I'm not having conversations with my daughter about what I'm thinking. I'm having conversations with Aaron Atkinson, trying to get to the bottom of it, and then he's going and telling the exact, he is showing her, even these classes, he is showing them the paperwork and putting it in their faces, absolutely causing problems. I came to the courts every single year about things that I'm bad-mouthed, I'm talked about. Of course the kids view me like this. This is 100% parental alienation, and the courts have enabled the abuse of me, the control of me, and I'm done. If you guys cannot see that, why would I be fighting for my kids to abuse them? All I want for them to do.
Your ranting kind of shows that you are fighting to get them into your control. I don't think you're really fighting for your kids right now. I think you're fighting because you don't like your kids holding you accountable. Because they said they had enough. They want to be with dad. Let's continue.
Do better in school. Hold him accountable to that court order. It's a court order for a reason. You're not allowed to badmouth me every chance you get. My kids don't need to grow up in a toxic environment like that. I love them so much and only want the best for them. So yeah, they hate me for making them clean their rooms. They hate me for making them, grounding them, taking away their cell phone. I took away my daughter's cell phone because of the things that she was posting on TikTok and the boys that she was talking to. He turned around and bought her a new phone. After all this, I can't. There's no disciplining the kids. There's no wanting better for them. I am merely nothing more than a babysitter. So I choose to not do it. I can't. I cannot live and I cannot be exposed to the police knocking on my door again, to the CPS, to the false CPS call. I've been dealing with this for far too long. Far too long, and this is exactly what he wanted. So congratulations, Aaron, you have won. Congratulations. This is absolutely what you've wanted. I hope you're happy with the results. To be honest with you, I feel so bad for my kids, but I feel so bad for my kids' future that they have to live like this. 100%. The kid's therapist is his therapist. Can you imagine what my kids would say if my kids attended my therapist and all they listened to is negative lies that I said about my ex, the paid actor, the one that literally gets paid to make people believe his story?
Still ranting, and still no one's really paying attention to her. They're just letting her talk. Once again, going on a wild limb here and say, pretty sure everyone in this court hearing has listened to this woman dance her tune. They've all been through it and they're just tired of it. They want her out. They just want this to be over with. Let's continue.
Miss Sewell, the children need their mother, so I hope you keep
and they also need a happy mother and one mother that's not being constantly controlled and abused and enabled by the court system to continue the abuse. I cannot handle it anymore. I have hit a peak. I've hit a moment. I cannot. The summer goes so perfect and so well and it's so harmonious. And when the kids were moving freely from home to home, it was so good. It was so happy in that time. It was so good. But money is a root of all evil, so I'm sorry I didn't have the money at the time.
All right, take a deep breath, Miss Sewell. First of all, make sure you're listed. You should be involved in school activities, run parent-teacher conferences. Make sure that you're listed as a contact at school. Absolutely, you're the parent.
I have had to go to court and fight for every single thing of that, and I do. I attend everything that I am aware of, that I can. I attend everything. I do everything that I'm supposed to. I show up to therapy. I do everything that I'm supposed to do. Everything and more. I adopted my life in 2020 as if he was standing right next to me. And you can ask any about that. I said, I will live my life as if Aaron Atkinson is standing next to me because that's how it feels. Every move I make, I have to make sure that he's okay with it, how he can spin it, and how he can use it against me and use it against me in court. And that's how I have become this person that I am so proud of today. The fact that you are sitting here and saying my kids don't deserve to have.
You guys should probably look at the father. He hasn't said anything. He's just sitting there quietly at a chair, just listening to his ex go on a rant. Go. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure this woman just did it to herself because she can't keep her emotions in check. She just can't. Well, let's continue.
Their mother, why is it okay for this man to have truancy charges? Why is it okay for him to not push school on the kids? Why is it okay for him to be living in a bed bug infested house, almost foreclosed on it? Everyone's okay with it. Why are you okay with it?
Oh, wait. She said bedbug infested house. The guy, as you can clearly see in this video, he's sitting in a very comfy lounge chair. I don't know if it's his office or his house, but yeah, where the mother on her other hand, she's doing this Zoom call through her phone in her car. So yeah, this doesn't really make sense. It really doesn't. Let's continue.
Right, Mr. The court fully understands your position. Keep them the tabs. If in fact the children are missing school, bring it to the court's attention. The court will make changes.
I have. You have all the paperwork right now. You have all the paperwork right now. I have. That's a joke you telling me that. I have. I brought all text messages, school paperwork. I have absolutely brought everything. The 37 absences. I brought that, Your Honor.
Mr. Atkinson, do you understand the recommendation this morning?
Yes, I do.
Do you have any objection to the court adopting the recommendation?
No, I do not.
Okay, the court's going to add a couple things to this recommendation, if you could, please, Ms. Brower. Number
Yes, Your
one is that the children all three children shall be involved in counseling, and they shall not be your counselor or therapist, Mr. Atkinson. Not someone that you are seeing. Just understand, all three children shall be enrolled in counseling. They've all three got problems. So all three should be enrolled in counseling, and they should not be your therapist or counselor. And finally, if the children misspoke this illness, you need to take them to the doctor that day. No unexcused absences. So if they're you take them home.
Schedules the appointment during school.
Please not interrupt. Mr. Atkinson, if these children are sick, they don't go to school, you need to take them to the doctor that day. Understood?
Understood.
And Ms. Sewell, please keep tabs on the records. If in fact they're missing school, the court's we'll bring them back into court, and the court wants answers as to why they're not in school.
This is a joke. Right. I've been doing this for years, Your Honor. Every single year I provide the school record. Every single year. So you're telling me to do exactly what you told me last year, which was the thing that you exactly told me the year before, which is the exact thing that you told me the year before. You've told me this every single year. Every single year you've told me this. I've been bringing this to you every single year. Every single year, Your Honor.
And I'm guessing every single year they look over those records and they find out nothing was amiss. Quite literally. We live in a world of paper, guys. What can I say? Let's continue.
Well, we've got 3 files here, and we've been a lot of activity, but bring them timely. Ms. Sewell,
I do, Your Honor. It has 30 days to. You have 30 days to file the complaint. I do, Your Honor. I do. I file everything on time. I do bring it to you. I do. So you're telling me the exact same thing as you did a year ago. So what is it going to be? One more child is going to drop out? Are we going to wait till one more child gets to drop out? Because this could have been prevented. This absolutely could have been prevented.
Court's attention.
I have this.
Wait a minute. What does she mean by one more child? I thought this was for all 3 kids that she had with them. Who's this supposed 4th child that she had with them? That's not part of the case. I don't know. Let's continue.
Absolutely could have been prevented.
I'm not going to talk over you, try to talk above you, Ms. Sewell. So, court will adopt the recommendation. I will conclude this review. To bring it to the court's attention, please, I will look at it. So, please bring it to the court's attention, and the court's going to amend the recommendation with those.
Your Honor, can I ask something else?
Sure. Go ahead.
So we have a thing on our court order that we are not supposed to talk about each other on social media. However, I I'm not being quiet about what's being done to me at court anymore. And since the court order has never been followed before, and there are no consequences. So if I start speaking out about what's being done in the care that Mr. Atkinson, and I have already interviewed with the podcast company that wants to hear my story about what's been happening with friend of the court, CPS, and how I've been treated and injustice, and the fact that you're still allowing this behavior and you're giving custody to him. Am I allowed to speak about it, or are you putting a no speak order on me? Am I allowed to tell my story, or is this allowed to be aired?
If you're not sure about following court orders, you should consult an attorney, because yes, you violate court orders, you can be held in contempt.
Okay, but why is he allowed to be held? Why is he allowed to disobey the court order, but he is not allowed to be held? He never gets held in contempt. So why is it that I only am allowed to be held in contempt, but he does not have to be held in contempt? You just dismissed about 20
parties are subject to the contempt powers of this court and violate court orders. With that,
but you're not, because you just dismissed all my court orders that he violated. So are you going to choose to violate me and not him once again? I'm just saying, I want to speak out. I want this podcast to...
The reason why they didn't charge him is because the judge, there's no evidence. Most likely. The judge literally cannot declare this guy guilty of this without evidence. He can't. Let's continue.
I very much want my voice to be heard. I think that other people can benefit from hearing my story about the injustice that's been being caused to me. I want to speak out about my story, and I want to make sure that I'm not being contempt of court again, because I'm the only one that gets held in contempt of court. So I'm asking you to lift that ban on me being able to speak and me being able to speak about my story.
your request is denied.
Okay, I will take my chances.
Okay, that will conclude this hearing.
Okay, that's all we got time for, guys. So, yeah. Well, she said she'll take her chances with disobeying a court order. Yeah. Another good reason why there are so many men, myself included, who have decided that getting away from overseas is a better deal. Let's face it. I don't really care what it is you have in your pants. If you can't obey the law, then we're better off not having you in our lives. That's just a fact of the matter. Oh boy. Anyways, thank you guys all for watching. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe. I appreciate your support. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, make a comment. It really does help us out. It honest to God does. See you later, guys.